Jacksonville Jaguars fans, welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks so much for being here. Friday, July 18th, the final Friday before we get into training camp. Only 2 more weekdays, Monday and Tuesday of next week, before we hit the field. Cannot wait for it. I really can't. And right now, get y'all through the weekend thinking about some position battles. And this video is going to be focused specifically on starting jobs, high impact jobs. We can do and will do next week position battles that are more like making the roster, right? This is going to be specifically 5 positions that I think there's legitimate competition for starting spots. We're going to dive into it. I'm excited for it. I'm so fired up for training camp. Thank y'all so much for supporting me through the dead period. It is almost over. Thank goodness. And thank you for being here year round. We'll try to provide the best Jacksonville Jaguars content that I possibly can. So again, I really appreciate y'all being here. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to comment. Let me know what position battles you're looking at in the comment section below. You can also check out genjag.com/shop, pick up some new Duval gear, help support the channel further if you are so inclined. So first position we're looking at is right tackle. I don't think it should be. I do not think that we should be sitting here talking about right tackle. But the Jacksonville Jaguars signed Chuma Edoga this offseason. And Anton Harrison going into year 3, they're trying to push him. They're trying to get the most out of him. They're trying to get him to play his best ball. He is, in my opinion, the most talented offensive lineman they have. But they want him to show that consistently. I guess in their minds, he hasn't done that yet. And I'm not sitting here trying to tell y'all he's been an entirely consistent player for the Jaguars over the first 2 years of his career. He hasn't. No one on the offensive line has been entirely consistent. Walker Little at left tackle probably has been the most consistent guy. And, you know, with Walker Little's size and athleticism, maybe he is the most talented offensive lineman the Jaguars have. But to me, it's Anton Harrison. I think Anton Harrison has that potential to be a big time, like top 10 player at his position. But he's got to earn it. And Chuma Edoga, who is a veteran, who's played a lot of ball, who's been around the block, who has played on good offensive lines, who has filled in on good offensive lines for the Cowboys, he's not going to go down without a fight. And so that's number one, because if Anton Harrison is not in the starting lineup for the Jaguars in week 1 and whenever he is healthy, I'm not saying he's injured right now, but I'm just saying if he is healthy, he should be in the lineup. Bottom line. And if he's not, that's a major problem. That's either, to me, Anton Harrison isn't pushing hard enough for it, or it's a coaching error. One of those two. Because he's too talented to not be on the field. Bottom line. The second one is left guard specifically. I think that's the only position up for grabs on the interior of the offensive line. But it's possible you could see some movement, some moving pieces here and there. I think it's left guard, though, so that's what we're going to talk about. It's Ezra Cleveland and Wyatt Milam. And now, to me, Ezra Cleveland has been one of the guys that has really just gotten thrown under the bus for no reason here in Jacksonville. I really like what he's done since he's been here overall at left guard. I think he's been efficient in pass protection. I think he's been efficient in the run game. He's athletic. He has a demeanor about him that was finished through the whistle, that's tough, that gets after it. I like Ezra Cleveland, but I also like Wyatt Milam. I really do. And he had a tremendous college career playing left tackle for the West Virginia Mountaineers. Can he push Ezra Cleveland in year 1? I think there's no question he's pushing him for next year. Is he pushing him right now? Is he going to contend for a starting job on the offensive line right now? That's the question. Can't wait to see how that plays out. Can't wait to see these guys once they get pads on. Really cannot. My third group to watch. It's CB2/3. It's intriguing because, Tyson Campbell is your CB1. Jordan Lewis is going to be on the field a lot. A ton. Like, he's your starting nickel. How much is Travis Hunter going to be on the field at corner? That's the biggest question here. Because, if they view Travis Hunter as a starting outside corner and he's on the field more often than not, then he's your CB2. Jordan Lewis is your nickel. Tyson Campbell's your CB1. And Travis Hunter could very quickly become the CB1. I'm not insinuating that he couldn't be. But those are your two starting outside corners with Jordan Lewis in the nickel. But if the Jaguars want to play him some at corner, but a lot more at wide receiver, which we still don't know the plan there, then it's like, okay, who is the top three? Tyson Campbell. If it was up to me, it would be Tyson Campbell. And then when you have three corners on the field, it would be Tyson Campbell, Jordan Lewis in the nickel, Jarian Jones opposite Tyson Campbell. And I know Bustin Brown has more experience in zone coverage. I think Jarian Jones is a much better player. I would much rather have him on the field. And in two cornerback sets, I would probably have Tyson and Jordan. Jordan Lewis has a lot of experience playing outside. He has shown he can do that at a high level. Again, I want to have Travis on the field as much as possible, as much as makes sense. I'm not going to be in those meetings, though, where they're talking about like how he's doing, energy-wise, endurance-wise, stamina, all that stuff. And I know the guy can run for days, but this training camp is going to be a little bit of a different animal for him, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I think the Jaguars want Travis Hunter to be a starting corner and a starting receiver. That's what I want. We're going to see here very soon exactly what's going down at CB2, CB3. It's very possible, though, that if Travis Hunter is not on the field, that it's Tyson, Buster Brown on the outside, Jordan Lewis at nickel, and then in two cornerback situations that it's Tyson and Buster. Again, that's not the way I would roll, but that would not surprise me. Safety is just going to be really fascinating. Jason, my boy, Jaguars United, was on with the Duval Dive podcast earlier this week, and he was talking about safety is really fascinating because like 1 through 5 or 6, you could make the argument that Eric Murray and Andrew Wingard are your top two guys. You could make the argument that Eric Murray and Darnell Savage are your top two guys. I'm putting Eric Murray in the top because they paid him to come here and start football games. I think he's going to be a starter for them, which is the same reason I'm not questioning anything at center. I think Robert Hainsey's the starter at center because they paid him to come in and start games. You could also say Eric Murray and Caleb Bransaw. You could say Eric Murray and Antonio Johnson. Like, there's just so many guys, even Rayon Lane. But to me, the highest ceiling group would be, highest ceiling, honestly, would actually probably be, I know this is not going to be popular to say, but probably the highest ceiling would be Antonio Johnson at strong safety and Caleb Bransaw at free safety. But that's also probably the lowest floor group because you just don't know how those guys are going to perform. Antonio Johnson, in his third system in 3 years, did not play very well last year on the back end. Newsflash, no one did. And then Caleb Bransaw transitioning from nickel to safety. But those are your best athlete, biggest playmaker type of guys. But it'll be fascinating to see again. I think Eric Murray is going to be one of those starting safeties. Who is going to be the other starting safety? Finally, we have got running back. Running back, I think in my heart of hearts and analysis-wise, I think Travis Etienne makes the most sense as the Jaguars RB1. I think you give him some space. We've talked about that. We've shown how Liam Cohen can create space. with his offense, give him the ball. Let him go. And he's proven, again, last year, every single Jaguars running back had their worst pass protection year by far. Travis, Tank, and Dearness Johnson. Before that, Travis Etienne was not a good pass protecting back, but he was an adequate pass protecting back. He was somebody who you could keep on the field because he is so dangerous as a runner and receiver. And so he's a major plus in space. He's a major plus as a receiver, and he is adequate when it comes to pass pro. Tank Bigsby might be the best pure runner just in between the tackles and just hand him the football and let him go. But he has never proven to be adequate in pass protection. He has fumbling issues, and he is not a good receiver. Bashal Tootin, fumbling issues. LeQuint Allen, really good in pass pro and as a receiver, but probably the least exciting with the ball in his hands of the group. So I see that there could be competition here. I would still say Travis Etienne should have the upper hand. But then I think, I've said this a lot, I think Etienne and Bigsby could have similar amount of carries this year. I think Bigsby might actually have more carries. I think Etienne will have the most touches, right, out of this group, because I think he's going to be a big part of the receiving game. I don't think there's really a competition for wide receiver 3, even though some folks I've heard talk about that. I think De'Ami Brown is the wide receiver 3 for sure. I don't think there's anything to speak of at tight end. Quarterback, obviously. Anything on special teams, linebacker, edge, interior defensive line. So that's where we're at. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.